You know that feeling, right? That little gut instinct when someone's telling you a story and something just feels off. Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty cool idea. What if our built-in lie detectors are actually tied to our zodiac sign's deepest traits?
So let me ask you, can you always tell when someone is lying? It sounds like a simple question, but really it's not. Some of us, we need the hard facts. Others can literally feel a shift in the room's energy. The thing is, we all have our own method, even if we don't consciously realize what it is.
And that's where this gets interesting. Your zodiac sign might just be your secret weapon in all this. Now look, we're not talking about some kind of magic crystal ball stuff here. Think of the zodiac more like a framework, a way to understand different types of human intuition. It's really about the unique lens each of us uses to see the world, and, of course, the people in it. Okay, so first up, let's talk about a group I call the observers. These are the folks who do not rely on a vague gut feeling. Nope. They trust what's tangible, they want evidence, cold hard facts, and pure logic. If a story doesn't add up in the real world, you better believe their internal alarms start blaring. So who's in this evidence crew? We've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And surprise, surprise, they're all earth signs. That tells you everything you need to know about their method. They are grounded, they are practical, and they trust what they can see and verify. Each one is a detective for sure, but they're all looking for totally different clues. Let's break it down.
For a Taurus, it is all about consistency. These guys are masters at observing your normal, everyday behavior, your baseline. They remember everything. So if you always tap your foot when you're nervous, but this one time you're telling a crazy story and you're perfectly still, yeah, they're gonna notice. They've basically got a mental file on you, and a lie is just any little thing that doesn't match that file.
Virgo, on the other hand, is a bit more analytical. Think of them as a walking, talking fact checker for your life. They will absolutely cross-reference what you said on Tuesday with what you're saying right now. So if your story is that you were at the store from 2 to 3, but they remember you mentioned taking a call at 2:15 from a totally different town, boom, their internal computer just flagged a big ol' error. For Virgo, the truth has to be logical, period. And then we have Capricorn, the ultimate pragmatist. Their main question is just, is this story even possible in the real world? So if you say you were late for work because a flock of flamingos blocked the highway in the middle of a blizzard, yeah, they are not buying it. Not for a second. Their lie detector is just grounded in common sense. And this really highlights the two main paths to the truth, doesn't it? The observers we just talked about are always asking, does this make sense? But our next group, they operate on a completely different level. They're asking a totally different question. Does this feel right? So, welcome to the world of the intuitives. These signs are just tuned to a different frequency. They pick up on emotional currents, energetic shifts, all the unspoken things just hanging in the air. For them, the truth isn't a fact, it's a feeling. And our feeling crew is made up of the 3 water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And just like water, they are all about the currents flowing right underneath the surface. They don't need a spreadsheet of facts. They can literally feel a lie because of the emotional static it creates. They're reading the energy in the room, not your words. Take Cancer. They're incredibly empathetic, which makes them experts at spotting what you could call an emotional disconnect. You can say, I'm so happy for you, and you can have a big smile on your face, but if they sense just a flicker of jealousy or sadness underneath it all, they know. They know your words are just a performance. They catch the lie in that dissonance. Now, Scorpio is really interesting because they go even deeper. They have this almost psychic ability to sense your motive. They're not just hearing what you're saying, their brain is constantly asking why you're saying it. And that, right there, lets them see the truth you might be trying so hard to hide. And then you've got Pisces. This quote just nails their method perfectly. If something feels wrong, even without proof, they're almost always right. They are the ultimate vibe checkers. They might not be able to sit you down and logically explain why they don't believe you, but they trust that energetic signal they're getting. For a Pisces, a feeling of wrongness is more reliable than any piece of physical evidence. All right, and that brings us to our final and largest group, the interrogators. Now, these signs are less concerned with the facts of the story or the feelings behind it. They are focused entirely on the delivery. They are expert critics of the performance of lying itself. This group's got a lot of members: Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. They're the ones watching your body language, listening to your tone, analyzing your word choices. They just know that even the most convincing liar can't control every single part of their performance.
So how do they do it? Well, you've got someone like Aries who is all about direct confrontation. They have absolutely zero patience for being misled. The second your story has even a single crack in it, a tiny contradiction, they are on you, calling you out right then and there.
Now, where Aries looks for cracks in the overall story, Gemini, a master of communication, listens for cracks in the words themselves. They'll be the first to catch that little hesitation, that slip of the tongue, or, when you start over-explaining a really simple detail, which is a classic sign you're making stuff up on the fly.
Then there's Leo, who reads the whole performance from a different angle, your confidence. In their mind, the truth is delivered with conviction. So if your voice starts shaking or you can't hold eye contact, to them, that's a dead giveaway. You don't believe in your own words. For a Leo, a lie is just a poorly executed performance.
Libra, being the sign of balance, listens for the harmony in a conversation. A lie, to them, introduces this jarring, discordant note into the social vibe. They can feel the exact moment a conversation goes from easy and fun to tense and awkward. That shift in social energy is their big red flag. And Sagittarius? They value freedom and openness above pretty much everything else. When someone is being deceptive, what do? They often get guarded, careful with their words. Sagittarius senses that restriction, that feeling of being caged, and they just know you're hiding something.
Meanwhile, Aquarius has this detached, almost scientific approach. They observe people like a psychologist, just noting their patterns. To them, a lie is basically an anomaly in the data. It's a behavior that just doesn't fit with the profile they've built of you. So, you see, all different methods, but they're all focused on one thing: how the story gets told.
So after going through all these different styles, from analyzing facts to sensing vibes to critiquing the performance, it all comes back to you, doesn't it? What's your natural instinct? Think about it. Do you find yourself needing that hard evidence, like the observer? Or do you just rely on that undeniable gut feeling, like the intuitive? Or maybe, just maybe, you're always watching the delivery, like the interrogator. It's kind of fascinating to see where you might fit. And that really brings us to a final thought here, because while all these instincts can definitely protect us, they also bring up a much deeper question. What's the bigger risk in life? Being deceived by someone every now and then, or getting so good at spotting lies that you forget how to trust anyone at all? Something to think about.